If you've ever been envious of someone getting free money in their retirement account from an employer that matches contributions, you might be interested in how to qualify for matching without an employer. And even if you get matching at work, an IRA match is a nice extra benefit to boost your retirement account. This podcast will explain how individual retirement account or IRA matching works and where to find an IRA that offers it. So stay with me if you like the idea of getting free money to grow your retirement nest egg. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me on episode 865 of the Money Girl podcast. I'm Laura Adams, an award-winning author, money speaker, founder of the Money Stack newsletter, and host of this show with over 43 million downloads. If you're getting value from the free content we love creating for you, consider submitting a 5-star rating or review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you happen to be listening. And if you have a question you'd like me to cover, I love addressing your money questions here on the show, so please leave it. You can do that a couple ways. One is our voicemail line at 302-364-0308, or you can send me an email. You just go to lauradadams.com and you'll find a button that says contact. So use that contact page, and while you're on the site, you can sign up for the free Money Stack newsletter. Again, that's at lauradadams.com. So if you haven't heard of an IRA match, this could be a totally new concept for you. So an IRA match is a deposit to your account from your IRA provider, in addition to the funds that you contribute. So the goal of matching, whether it's coming from an employer or an investing company, is to incentivize you to save more and to build a larger retirement account. And of course, incentivizing you to bring your money over to that investing platform. Robinhood was the first company to offer an IRA match, or at least the first one that I'm aware of, starting in 2023. And it really was innovative because matching is typically only provided to employees with a workplace retirement plan, like a 401k or 403b. That means anyone with earned income who qualifies for an IRA, including the self-employed, can get extra matching funds on their Robinhood IRA. And some other companies have gotten in the game as well, like Betterment and SoFi. They've recently offered IRA matching, but the rules are a little different. It's going to vary, depending on the company that you use. So I bet we're going to see this matching trend catch on with more investing firms down the road. So let's talk about how an IRA match works. We're going to review how a typical IRA match works so you know if it's a good choice for you. And as I mentioned, it does vary, but with Robinhood, they match 1% on your contributions, transfers, and rollovers with no caps. Or if you have something called their Premium Gold account, they will match 3%. Again, that's with no caps. So here's an example. Let's say you roll over funds from an old 401k with a previous employer, and the account is worth $100,000 after the transfer settles. Your Robinhood match would be 1% or $1,000 if you don't have a gold account, and you typically receive the funds right away. The only catch with Robinhood is that you must own the account and hold your eligible contributions for at least 5 years to keep the match, to keep that money that they gave you. Or you've got to keep a gold membership for at least 1 year from your first 3% match in order to keep the extra 2%. So, the rules are going to vary. With Betterment's IRA matching, they're giving 1% just on contributions. This is to, open up and contribute to a new or to add contributions to an existing account. And right now they're offering this through 2024, but they're not offering it on rollovers or transfers. So your match is essentially capped by the 2024 contribution limit, which is $7,000 or $8,000 if you're over 50. Now, Maybe they will extend the match in the future. We don't know, but that's just the promotion that's being offered right now. So depending on your age, that means you can earn up to $70 or $80 if you're over 50, which Betterment says will be paid on or around December 31st, 2024. So as long as you put the money in the account before the end of the year, Betterment will qualify you for the match. However, you actually have until your tax filing deadline of the next year. So you can actually fund an IRA up until your tax filing deadline, which is typically the mid-April for most people. But if you file an extension, it also would extend out to that date. So, you've got until that date to fund an IRA, but Betterment is saying, we want you to do it now. If you do it before the end of the year, you're going to qualify for this 1% match. A question that comes up is, does that IRA match count toward the contribution limit? And the good news about IRA matching funds is that they don't count toward the annual contribution limit. For instance, if you're a Betterment customer and you're over 50 and you contribute $8,000 to max out a Roth IRA for 2024, your total deposits for the year would be $8,080. That extra $80 match gets treated as interest income in your IRA, not as a contribution. Now, while an IRA match might sound similar to a 401k match, they're not the same. As I mentioned, an IRA match is not tied to an employer. It's tied to your investing company or your investing platform. Nor does an IRA match count toward your annual contribution limit. Workplace retirement plans have a much higher contribution limit. You can put $23,000 into like a 401k or 403b, or up to $30,500 if you're over 50, and those amounts are for 2024. An employer's match also does not count toward your annual contribution limit. However, you and your employer cannot contribute more than an annual threshold. For this year, it's $69,000 combined, or $76,500 if you're over 50. And a typical employer match might be up to 3% of your salary. For instance, let's say you make $100,000 and you contribute at least $3,000 to a 401k. Your employer would kick in another $3,000 on your behalf. So as you can see, an employer match is typically more generous than what is being offered, at least right now, through an IRA match. You can have both a workplace retirement plan match and an IRA match. However, depending on your income, you may not qualify to make Roth IRA contributions. I've done previous shows about Roth IRAs and what those limits are, so I'm not going to go into them here. Also, contributions to a traditional IRA may not be tax deductible when you or a spouse participate in a retirement plan at work. You can make contributions to a traditional IRA. You could get a match on them as well, but they may not be deductible, just depending on your income or your household income. So is it worth it? I think the question is, if a company is trying to lure you over with a match, is it worth it to open up a new account with that company, or even to transfer funds from one provider to another? And, getting a 1% match may seem like little. Still, if you maxed out a Robinhood IRA annually, the match could grow into an extra 5 figures, depending on your return, the future contribution limits, and how long you own the account. And the beauty of investing is that small amounts compound, helping your account grow significantly over time. A downside of IRA matching is the possibility of getting it revoked or having a fee if you make withdrawals before a required holding period, or you have a balance below a certain threshold. I mentioned that Robinhood requires you to keep an IRA with matching for at least 5 years. Otherwise, there may be an early removal fee for withdrawing funds before then. So before you choose an IRA with matching or transfer funds from one IRA provider to another, definitely compare it to other providers that don't offer a match. Some may offer really nice perks like a welcome bonus or even free account management if you deposit up to a threshold. So the match really has to be evaluated carefully. Make sure you really understand what you're getting from the match and what that might mean to you in the future before choosing a new provider. And if you don't have an IRA, this is a great time to open one and make sure that you can fund it for 2024. Again, you do have until the tax filing deadline of the next year to fully fund a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA if you qualify for one for this year. I hope this has been helpful if an IRA match is something you didn't know anything about, or maybe you've seen it but really didn't know how it works. And before we go, I want to thank JC Saige, it's JACEYSAIGE, for her recent TikTok post about the Money Girl podcast. She makes some great money and budgeting content, so check her out if you're on TikTok. Again, that's JC Saige. And a quick reminder to subscribe to The Money Stack. That's my weekly newsletter. When you visit lauradadams.com, it's filled with money tips, tools, news, challenges, and things I enjoy. You can subscribe for free, or you can become a paid member and get access to live educational events. That's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, here's to living a richer life. Money Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast, and I want to thank our amazing team. Steve Rickyberg audio engineers the show. Brandon Gachus is our director of podcasts. Holly Hutchins is our digital operations specialist. Morgan Christensen is our advertising operations specialist. And Davina Tomlin is our marketing and publicity associate.